Hey folks, welcome back to our Sunday Jank-Off, except it's not Sunday. It's Wednesday, and we are still bringing you janky standard decks to play against each other. Myself, Ben Break, and AlbinoCheesemonkey. What's your deck name tonight, Albino?
I'm excited about this one, Ben, because of all of the jank, I've been janking this one off for the longest. So it is it is well percolated, and it's one that because of the short turnaround, I picked up one that I've been working on for, dare I say, a month or two rather than a week. So I'm excited. We can really see what jank can truly achieve, because I do take this one to the ladder for funsies. But the name is Snake Food, and it is a Golgari green-black deck.
Since this is one of your longtime decks, I have actually played against a version of this deck before.
You have?
Yeah. I happen to know we are both based around an elemental from Bloomburrow. I am playing Fecund Butts.
Oh, I think I know which elemental. There's only one Fecund Butt that I know from Bloomburrow.
Well, I have lots of butts in this deck, so...
Well, I only know one of them that's Fecund.
Okay, that's fair. All right, chat. We are looking at our starting hands. As a reminder, our format is going to be a best of one, blind. A little less blind in this case, because I know generally what my partner's playing. But we don't really know what's going on going in. We'll do a deck tech after the best of one, and then we'll go to one or two best of threes to see who is the jank champion. If you want to see both of our hands, I'd say just pull up both streams, meet one of us. Should be good. For mulligans, I am going to have to mulligan. We don't have any plays soon enough. This is our first play.
I have, in my hand of 7, I have 6 out of the 7 cards that I like to see in an opening hand. So I think I'm going to mulligan. See if I can get 7 out of 7 instead of 6 out of 7.
That doesn't sound right.
I'm going to keep...
We're going to keep 6, get rid of a duplicate card we're probably not going to use, and we'll begin with a fungus.
Among Us, I had to say.
Yes, a fungus is among us on this battlefield.
Begin with a swamp.
The first swamp of the series, I believe.
That's right. That's right. And now, speaking of Fecund Butts, how about a boot?
A free booty. Brilliant. I'm going to play myself a Conduit Pylons. Oh man, I really don't like doing this. But...
Oh, there it is. Looking as fecund as ever.
This is our build-around card, chat.
May be featured in one of my janks someday.
You did inspire me a little bit.
Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
It probably isn't. I hope not.
No,
I'm glad you perceive it as nice.
I think someone once told me they were glad they preferred that I exist rather than didn't. That was pretty nice. Do I want to block this? Not yet.
Okay.
He will die, just not right now.
Well,
fast land.
All of my funguses text involves sacrificing it, so mine will probably die eventually too.
That's right. In fact, you have 2 open mana, don't you? Let's throw a curse on this guy.
A cursed booty. Okay. I'm just gonna cash in my fungus. Oh, is that giving you flashbacks from last episode?
I don't know. It feels like not a lot compared to 16.
I'm sorry. I'll try to do better.
No, please don't.
We don't. Do we need this? I guess we do need this.
Oh, I better look out.
Right, behold my lands. This is our the best land that we can hit with our froggy friend, folks. Because it's putting 2 mana on the battlefield.
Now that your fungus is gone, I will happily drop this.
Even if you had dropped it, I still would have cracked my fungus for land or to draw a card and play on land because I had no lands in hand and I was lucky to top deck one.
You must be hurting. This mage is spiteful. Just your average 1 mana 4/3. You know how it be.
We are.
Boy, I sure have a lot of permanents on the board right now, don't I?
Say no more. I have a lot of permanents on the board.
That's true. Land permanents.
We are returning to one of my favorite cards in Standard, Spelunking. Combining that with Arid Archway. I just love Spelunking plus Arid Archway. Such a nice ramp combo.
This is one of my favorite cards.
You have a lot of permanents on board.
I certainly do. Unfortunately, none of them green because I just spent it.
Why would you need green?
To level up the Innkeeper's talent.
Oh, who needs that? Aren't you just gonna play down another permanent?
Well, you see, I had 6 out of 7 of the things I like to see in my opening hand.
Oh, is the 7th your build around?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's try to get some permanents on board, like you. More non-land permanents, I would like. But lands are good too. Let's see here. Mana counting time.
Oh no, it's not doppelganger math, is it?
It's not doppelgang.
Not again.
I wouldn't
not
bring
again.
That flashbacks again. I wouldn't bring that 2 weeks in a row. Instead, Genesis Wave. Do you like Genesis? Do you like waves? Oh man, this is a bad hit. Because we hit 2 of our other waves with our Genesis Wave. You want to hit permanents. Genesis Wave is the only non-permanent card we have in our deck, and we just hit 2 of them with our wave. That's fine. I want to draw cards.
Boy, we sure have gone a long way from no permanent or no creatures to just a high permanent density.
All
right.
Creatures.
Do I do this? I feel like I'm going to do this. Now, I don't know if you might not have seen this coming, Ben. I'm trying to decide if I should do it. I'm going to do it.
Igra.
She eat. She eat all.
Concerning.
Please kill my creatures. Please block. I would love that.
Mm-hmm. I'm under some pressure, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need our Entrancer.
The food was the friends that we let die along the way.
Not sure if I have a good answer for Igra on hand.
Yeah, and actually with that treasure I can level this up now. So it's going to get even more difficult.
Okay, this is a good draw.
Now notice the Igra has Ward 1 and Ward Sacrifice one of your foods. To have 2 of, by the way.
I think we needed to be luckier than that.
Oh, the monkey!
The monkey's here.
The monkey returns. Return of the monkey. Surprisingly not big enough yet, though.
What do I target?
Okay.
Monkey's powerful, but Igra's just too big. And Igra, notably the only creature on the board that is not currently an artifact. Monkey Smash artifact.
I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't realize that would count, but now that it is, I'm going to pretend like it was my genius plan. Here. I call this force feeding. Please eat one of your foods, your choice.
He wasn't doing much for me anyway.
Okay. Now I wish I had trample, but alas, I do not. So.
1 mana.
Probably should have got all of them.
What can 1 mana do to me?
Not as much as Igra the Eater of All can do to you right now.
Oh, bugger. If I was thinking about activating my Restless Vine stock, but it would tap itself if I did so. So we'll just have to jump. Just need some lucky draws. That was not really one of them.
We'll
do our best.
No, the only like pseudo board wipe you could be packing would be like Aetherize or something, which would remove a lot of counters.
You already know I'm not running any non-permanents aside from Genesis Wave.
That's true. That's true.
Our only way out is to go over the top, folks. But our draws need to cooperate.
I think it's time. I think it's feeding time, Ben.
Right, feed the snake.
Snake!
It's a snake. Oh no.
Oh no!
I'll just discard one of these extra spelunkings. Or
that's
sacrifice,
fair.
rather.
We're coming in.
All right, 16. Yep. I cannot muster 16 power, so have my lookout.
And I can't seem to muster train, but I found that it was unnecessary. Like I tried like some trample cards, but it was just.
Okay, I need to go draw with this.
I was already already winning for the fun part. Oh, there he is. Nervous because my snake.
You snake what? Good draw.
Haha!
Good draw.
Surprise! It was cat food all along.
That's a draw.
It was cat food all along, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pick your board clear and jump block until I can do better.
I can get some health out of it at least.
Okay.
I do feel like I'm kind of down to only one option at this point.
1 card in hand. I don't think you'll have 2 pieces of removal, or even 3. Let's just swing on in. All right, you know my hand. You've seen my board. Here we go.
Did you see this that I put down earlier, then?
Yes, but I didn't take proper note of it. Really wouldn't have mattered, would it?
For situations no matter what just like this.
And I don't think there was any draw that could have saved me.
I found a lot of myself in a lot of situations like this, so I put Rogue's Passage in as a one of. And
what a rogue!
Ends games.
What a rogue! The game is over. GG.
I probably could have used it before now, but I didn't honestly think of it. That's my problem. I'm so...
Oh, the audio's breaking up a bit. You're so...
I'll get better. Okay. I said I always forget that I have useful lands that I put down earlier. So, that was the best of one.
That was the best
there
of one.
There it was.
On to the deck check. We both did our thing.
One.
We both did our thing, and you came out victorious. So,
all right, you go first because I want to see what you're working with here.
All right.
I want to see what you're working with.
Let's switch on over to that view. I believe AlbinoCheesemonkey will bring my deck up on. This is your deck.
That's right.
Right. I need to stay.
Got it on.
You stay in
box field right now.
Mine. All right. We are playing Fecund Butts, named after our best elemental friend, the Fecund Green Shell. Green Shell does two things, or I should say likes two things. Green Shell likes lands, and Green Shell likes big butts, and cannot lie. So the first line is, as long as you control 10 more lands, creatures you control get +2/+2. That's a nice little win condition, turning all our crappy little creatures above the green shell into less crappy and less little creatures. The second thing, and the main thing we want green shell for, is it gets value as soon as it enters the battlefield, and then gets value every time something with toughness higher than its power enters the battlefield also. Something you control at least. For that reason, all of our creatures have toughness higher than their power, except for elves. We have 4 land war elves starting off our curve because we have a lot of 3-drops. Starting your curve 1 to 3 is so much better than going 1 to 2. We have 1 Nissa because we're making a lot of landfall triggers if we're going off, and being able to sync that back into mana and potentially generate a card or 2 every turn. Well, a card every turn, ideally. Very nice. She's only a 1/of because her butt ain't big enough. She's legendary also.
I don't think I've ever seen this card, Ben.
It's from March of the Machine Aftermath, which was not a particularly successful mini set. But it's a set I like. Why should be
but also, you can reveal an elf or elemental, which is very interesting to me.
Yes, there is synergy there, since my build round is an elemental.
I happen to have an elemental. I happen to have 2 elementals. One's not a build around. One's just a cheeky 1/of that wins games sometimes.
But you have to enable 2 lands per turn in a turn.
Yeah, which I don't do. Yeah.
Among our other big-butted creatures, Insidious Fungus is our less good land war elves, but it does have a booty. It's also got some flexibility. You can hate on artifacts and enchantments. Enchantments in particular are pretty big in the meta right now, or at ramp. You just turn 1, Fungus, like we did in the previous game, then turn 2, sacrifice it, draw a card, put the land down. It replaces itself and turns into a land, basically. Getting a landfall trigger can sometimes also matter if you have Nissa out, and getting to 10 lands is what we want to do for Green Shell. Clifftop Lookout, much in the same vein. A reach chump blocker that gives us a land. Everything we want, and it's got a butt. Green Blade puts a land into hand, has a butt. Green Blade's some of the reason we went for a desert synergy in our land base. We've got 4 copies Lush Oasis because that's the colors we're in, 4 copies of Arid Archway because it's so good with spelunking, and 4 copies Conduit Pylons because it's a desert that doesn't really cost us much. We don't have pipping requirements that are too intensive, other than being able to play an elf on turn 1. We have Spelunking, as again mentioned, for all the lands that we're putting into play with our previous creatures. We want them entering untapped, especially Arid Archway.
You only have 1 blue. You only have 1 blue pip. That's not great.
Yes. So the inspiration from this deck came from a Pioneer deck, also built around Fecund Green Shell, but it makes use of a lot of copy effects to kind of cascade into more green shells on your...
Make it even more Fecund.
Yes, and just boost just get multiple triggers every time something enters. All your lands are coming in untapped, hopefully. You're copying green shell with like your Glasspool Mimic or whatever. We don't have access to that tool in Standard. The only blue we're actually running is Dream Doing Transfer. Got a butt, and flexibly acts as either pseudo removal or card draw. That flexibility is really important when we're working with a deck that is mostly just creatures with booty.
Noted Draft All-Star as well.
Yes. So green shell's our main win condition. Green Blade, not really a win con, but can get quite big and get a lot done. We need a second win condition. Sometimes green shell isn't enough, and that's Genesis Wave. Genesis Wave, card I love. Reveal the top X cards of your library. You pay X and 3 green, and then you put every one of them that are permanents on the battlefield as long as their cost is less than or equal to X. Our curve stops at 5 with our friend Green Shell and Monkey. So if you do X equals 5, you will reveal the top 8 cards of your library. No, top 5 cards, sorry. Spending 8 mana, you get 5 cards. And they all go in, except for other Genesis Waves. We do 4 Genesis Waves. Sometimes we get unlucky like we did in that last game. And that was probably the worst Genesis Wave I've had for X equals 5. We hit 2 other Genesis Waves and so only got 3 permanents out of it or something. Finally, Silverback Elder is our other curve topper. It's got a butt, flexible. The life gain in particular can be great for stabilizing, and we can often play him turn 3 or 4 if we're ramping well, and then get value out of him turn 4 or 5. So not too bad. Mana base already explained, and that is our Fecund butts. Over to you, AlbinoCheesemonkey.
Let's talk about the snake and his food. This is snake food. Quick recap, my first set of Magic that I ever played was Bloomburrow. And the first card I ever loved was Snake. So, naturally, it was the first card that I ever tried to build a deck for. And I have built many, many Snake decks, of which this is the most successful. So, I love Snake. I always have ideas for Snake. When I'm in a bit of a janky rut, I build a different Snake deck. I'm like, what else can I do with Snake? And you know what? Every time, it's something fun.
Sounds like my relationship to Up the Beanstalk.
That's right. Exactly. So, so unfortunately, I didn't realize it at the time, but Snake is a meta viable card. Somewhat. It's like maybe Rogue, off meta.
Is it?
I see it sometimes. I've seen it usually people are playing. Oh, that seems like a lot to me. Yeah. Okay. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I mostly see it in mono black discard because it makes people discard cards. But I'm like, you're not appreciating the Snake and all that he does for you if you're just using him for that discard effect.
I've never seen it in mono black discard yet. Only in Rakdos Sacrifice as like a 1 or 2 of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, curve topper.
So let's talk about the Snake's food because that's what all this other stuff is. First is the greedy freebooter, a delicious 1/1 that rewards you when you eat it, or chump block with it. If you chump block with it, it'll help you ramp. If you don't, you can eat it and get treasure and scry, and it's just an all-around great 1-drop for this deck. The Spiteful Hex Mage was in the first iteration of a Snake deck I ever made was actually an Esper Snake because I was just trying to densely put as many permanents on the board at 1 mana as possible. So that ran 4 copies of this, and it ran 4 copies of the Spyglass Iron, and it wore 4 copies of Novice Inspector. This is the only guy who made it into this deck because I wanted to focus on the snake eating food, and food is Golgari, and he's wonderful because he can put the enchantment on himself, he can put the enchantment on something else. He's 1 mana, 2 permanents. If he puts him on something else, he's a 1 mana 3/2. If he survives, which he often does, especially if you drop him early on turn 2, and you already had a 1-drop creature like Greedy Fruitbooter, then you have on turn 2 a 1 mana 3/2, and most people, aside from instant speed or cheap removal, don't really have a way to deal with that. Most people aren't willing to spend their cheap removal on it, from what I found. So when that happens, but even worst case scenario, he drops the curse roll on himself, and then the snake eats the curse because he's a benevolent. But he's a benevolent overlord. There are many times where I can eat the snake and not the hex mage, and then I just drop a snake, and then he becomes a 3/2, and it's nice. I love him. This is a very recent inclusion. Goldbane Hydra. And by recent, I mean this is like a change I made within the past week. Mm-hmm. I was looking for more permanent density, and I remembered experimenting with this for a different deck that I don't think featured, or hasn't featured, hint hint, on Jank-Off yet. And I was like, that would go in snake food, because if I eat it, I get treasure. It's like Greedy Freebooter, but more. And so the weird thing about the Gold Vein Hydra is that usually when I play this in my other deck testings, you drop it late as a sort of win condition. But in this deck, you can drop it for 2 mana. And when you eat it, you get all of your money back. And moreover, what ends up happening is I drop it for 2 mana, I hit them, and then I start accumulating counters on it with Innkeeper's Talent. So by the time the snake gets around to eating this thing, I've had it up to like 5/5. And so the snake chomps down, I get 5 treasure, everybody's happy, except my opponent.
Hydra plus Talent is a nice combo. And Hydra is almost kind of a snake.
It's true.
It's got the wiggly necks.
It's like 5 snakes in one.
Kind of.
Yeah. Case of the Stash Skeleton. This is one of the first tutors I ever played with. I know, right? It's a fun tutor. I like it. Because when it comes in, it makes a permanent, and I am very incentivized for that permanent to die. If I don't have a snake yet, and that permanent dies, I can go get a snake next turn. And if I do have a snake, I can go get another snake. Because I used to run protection for my snake until I found out that the best solution to my snake being removed is another snake. So
just more snake.
Yeah.
Also, I love calling the token from this thing a sus skeleton.
Oh, that's right. Nowhere to Run. This is admittedly a meta removal card. I'm trying to get as much permanent density as possible. I, by all means, would prefer to be running my removal or pretty much anything as a permanent that sticks around. And this is one of the best in the game right now. Not much else I can say about that. Tithing Blade. This comes from one snake deck I experimented, which was all about making the other person sacrifice stuff so that they didn't have things to sacrifice, so that they had to discard or take the health damage. That was a completely different snake concept that didn't stand the test of time. But this card did. So it made it into this deck as my starter because it's very generic removal. The only downside is this whole deck is pretty much sorcery speed. But in the early game, I've removed elves with it. I've removed massive creatures that you would be surprised then by the number of mosswood hydras I run into.
that is surprising.
Yeah, it removes those too because people will invest a lot in them. Tells you a little bit about where I am in the matchmaking, being a player who's only been playing since last August, I guess. It deals with that. I may or may not swap it out with other removal options based on what I see in game ones, but shh. Innkeeper's Talent is just some nice fuel. Pumps things up, but more importantly, I really love to get this to level 2 as soon as possible and just introduce ward to everything, including my snake, because the blight counters on the snake count as counters. And in fact, if you can get more than one, you can get multiple wards on the snake. Or anything, really.
Is more than one talent, you mean, right?
More than one talent, yeah.
Yes.
Not more than one counter. It's not per counter. That would be a card.
That would be interesting.
I love this card. This is my favorite 2 permanent 2-drop in the game. Just because it's I don't know. I love him. What else can I say? It's a draft all-star.
Yeah.
It's a 2-mana 3/2 that leaves itself in another permanent, and then if they kill it or you chump block with it, it leaves another permanent, so it replaces itself. The snake is not very picky with what it eats as long as it's a non-land permanent. So he's a great guy. He's pretty. I play with him pretty defensively, though I have with Innkeeper's Talent done some serious damage when the other person couldn't get on the board.
You got yours up to a 4/3 without much trouble that last game, and could have gotten bigger.
This is the card that inspired me to build out snake food. Spinner of Souls. This is a draft all-star. When the snake eats things, I get more creatures, which is potential food for snake or another snake. Mm-hmm. Works great. This is the newest addition to the deck. The Huntsman Redemption. I didn't really give this card a shot. But because I knew we had a jank coming up, and I knew I wanted to throw at least something you haven't seen yet. You didn't get to see me play at this game, but I decided to test a new batch of possible snake food cards, and this one succeeded in the testing because when I drop this turn 3, my win rates go up.
Makes that fodder. It's a tutor for snake.
Yeah,
and I see that trample on there.
Yep, it just does everything that I need it to. And it's just I thought 3 mana was going to be too expensive for what it does, but it really isn't. So
that's what I would think too. Yeah, but I'm interested to see if you could pull that off in our best of 3.
In this very specific deck, everything that this saga does helps me.
That's often the mark of a good saga for your deck. If each of the 3, usually sagas are 3 stages, each of the 3 chapters does something for you, it's probably a good fit.
So as recently as like this Monday, I threw this into a testing version of Snake Food, and I kept winning whenever I dropped it turn 3, and I was like, maybe this should stick around unless I want to eat it or something.
Is Huntsman Redemption the truth? We'll find out soon, I hope.
Season of Lost, the board wipe of choice for me in this deck. It's kind of a selective board wipe for the most part. The only thing that I care about dying is my snake, so I'm not too fussed about selecting creatures, and I have it as a one of because it's gotten me out of tight spots so many times. This is a card that I tested, and it stood out during testing, so
it's interesting.
Worked well for me. Yeah. Maybe we'll get to see it, maybe we won't, but I only run it as a one of because generally I only need one. Because if I drop it, it's either to push the gas for my snake by removing their obstacles, because again, having people sacrifice their non-land permanents gives them less options. And also I've ended games with it when I was in stalemate because this deck tends to throw the food in the garbage, so to speak. And getting that X value of X number of creatures in my graveyard can get up to like 6 or 7 by the time I get to 5 mana. So
yeah, you have a high creature count.
And then Igra, Eater of All. I put this in as a one of cool card that was thematic, and it ended up killing people, so it stays.
Yeah,
what more do I say? You saw it happen.
Yeah, Igra's a legit card in Pioneer. There's a cat food combo deck.
Someday I'd like to make a Igra-based deck, but for now I keep it as a one of because this is the Snakes deck.
You could go up to 2. I bet you could go up to 2.
Yeah, I probably could.
Everyone loves Igra.
And then the Viper, the man himself. If you don't know, the snake comes in, immediately after coming in, gets a blight counter. The blight counter then, whenever he gets a blight counter, the opponent has a choice to make. My favorite types of removal, I know competitively people say you shouldn't let your opponent have choices, but my favorite types of removal, and maybe this makes me a sick person, is the kind where I have to watch them struggle to make a decision because about how to hurt themselves. But
sounds like a black player to me. A black mage.
But the point is, the player has a choice. They can discard a card, they can sacrifice a non-land permanent, or they can take 4 health. If I drop the snake early, 9 times out of 10 people are just taking the health, and I'm like, all right. And then late game, it starts to get really nasty if I drop one early and they couldn't get rid of it, or I drop one late. Snake can come down anytime for the most part. Like, unless they've killed 3 out of 4 of my snakes and I need to save it, they're not hard for me to draw. They're not hard for me to tutor. And I generally try to have one in my hand at all times.
Notable, folks. What makes this a snowball-y card is on entering or attacking, it gets a counter. But then the sacrifice or loss of life or discard is per counter it has. So exactly. 1 the first time, 2 the second time, 3 the third time.
There have been occasions, if we just sneak back over here to Innkeeper's Talent and look at level 3. That counts for blight counters as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've ended games that way, but it's not the primary win con. Usually if I put the snake out and they can't deal with it. I ran a proliferate snake deck I experimented for a while, but generally the proliferate ended up being more because...
Yeah, it still has to enter an attack to trigger.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, I also experimented with doubling season, but I didn't like having to spend 5 mana to have something maybe do something later, whereas this is an option for me. It's not the reason I'm playing the card, which is what I like about these class enchantments.
Yeah, doubling season, the only time you see it in higher on the ladder is in decks with a strong control game that can remove and board wipe until they can cast their 5 mana, do nothing until the next turn enchantment.
All right, mana base. Got 4 swamps, fast lands. I run this, which is actually a very, very good. Like, this isn't just like a creature land. It's a creature land that works with the deck. It attacks, makes food tokens. It's graveyard hate. It's a wonderful card.
Well, yeah,
for this deck.
Cottage is probably hands down one of the best of the creature land cycle that we have. The restless lands that we have in Standard.
I have one Surveil land just because it was the most useful of the ones I had in my collection. I have the Cavern of Souls. How often have you had your snakes countered? Me, almost never, actually. but someday they'll try, and the Cavern of Souls will stop them. The only thing I don't like about this card is I love the surprise factor of dropping snake, and if I play Cavern of Souls and call snake, they're like, oh, he's got a snake. And I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, Cavern is ideal when you drop it the turn that you play the thing.
Yeah.
I always try to save my Cavern for that if I can.
Yeah. Fountain Ports, Ben turned me on to this, honestly, especially in a deck that's making so many non-land permanents, many of which are tokens. This let me draw Ygra last game, so what else can you say? And then this was a cheeky inclusion because during testing I had 7 too many games where I was like, I have my snake or Ygra, and I just can't kill them. So this helps me just kill them.
Yeah, there's not too much price to Rogue's Passage. It doesn't come in tapped. It generates a mana like any other land. It's colorless, but you're running 2 colors and not stringent pip requirements. So
yeah,
it's a nice little inclusion.
So that is snake food.
All right. Are we ready for our best of 3?
I think we are ready for our best of 3.
All right, send me the challenge.
Challenge sent.
Challenge.
The gauntlet is thrown, sir.
There's some mirroring in our avatars.
I figured lizard is close enough to snake, because I don't know if there's like a lizard one. But
yeah, I don't know if there's a snake avatar. I never buy cosmetics, so I don't know for sure. But
all right, chat. This is a tough one, but I think we're gonna keep it just because of the way that it is.
Yep,
it's not as nice
now. So no hand
hand. That last hand was. I have the lands I need, but that last hand was just perfect. It had all of the 1-drops that I wanted. So
sure got the job done.
Yeah.
All right, we have to mulligan because we don't have enough early plays. And do we mulligan a second time? I think that is too much of a speed bump. Ideally, mulligan for a turn 1 play. If you don't get it the first time, sometimes it's okay to just say, oh well. We know our opponent's not playing a super fast aggro deck, so we can sometimes afford to dirtle a little bit. Sus skeleton.
So sus. He just came out of a closet. You get skeletons in your closet.
Yeah,
wait.
That's what the art looks like.
It's one of those cards that I wish there was flavor text for, but alas, there is not.
Yeah, Sagas don't usually have room for flavor text. Alas.
Let's go ahead and drop this now. See, now you see what I mean by dropping the Hydra early. Most decks that play it, I would assume, would want to drop it late. But this one, it presents a sizable Vigilance Trample threat, and when it dies, I get food.
Well, my Lookout can't really do much about it.
So now, you get to see...
I see 4 mana and 2 non-land permanents. No, 3 non-land permanents, really. But you probably want to keep your Skeleton. Ah, it's snake time.
It's snake time.
Alas, we'll just take the life for now. This is going to be a tough matchup for me, I think. Good enough, I think. Well, I have my Lumburo Elemental Rare. Oh, yours is Mythic Rare. But I think yours is going to do a little bit better. Oh, man. A snake wearing protection.
I'm going to use these treasures just to hedge my bets against you killing my snake.
In my Simic deck? Work. What kind of removal could I possibly have in my Simic deck?
I don't know. People are tricky these days.
2 counters.
They sided a single swamp. You know, you will never see it coming.
I think we're going to get beat by the snake pretty handily here, chat. That was not the draw we needed. Alright. Gotta get lucky. That would have been good enough if we had Spelunking out, but we don't. Not good enough. Not good enough, I think. We still got to keep it on top. We're going to get schooled. I think we can just concede at this point. I'll let you swing in and then take the damage.
Thank you. Because now it's very rare I get the snake up to 4 counters.
I'll lose 16 life. But Monkey survives. Monkey lives.
Monkey lives. Monkey lives.
All right, folks.
I've got that texturing bug, but...
yeah, me too.
Do you want to restart, or do you want to play through?
I'd say just play through the best of 3.
Okay.
If you switch it to the horizontal view, that might help. You'll be able to discern your cards a bit better.
Oh, yeah, I was already in horizontal view, so the cards aren't an issue. Let me see what he's working with here. Yeah. Playing some pretty beefy stuff. And it's a lot of creatures.
All right, this is our sideboard plan, folks. For this particular matchup, I wish we had more of this card. But alas, we just have to go bigger. We don't have a lot of options for permanent cards that are also removal in our colors.
I think I'm just going to make one slight change. Sorry, folks. I love it, but I don't think I need it. And plus, we've already seen it.
Igra? Is Igra out?
She's out for this game.
Too bad against the monkey.
It is problematic, turning all of my creatures into artifacts. All right, what do we think? Okay.
I like having a snap keep. We have our turn 1 play.
I unfortunately can't keep this hand. Which is sad, because there were 2 snakes in it.
Sometimes 2 snakes is too many snakes to start with.
That's much better. That is much, much better. We are very happy with that.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
It's my second best start. Fungus. All right, let's
What would you consider your first? Oh, elves. Elves would be your best start. You know what? Yeah.
I'm offering to ramp you, and you accept.
I'll take that.
Could be spiteful and then blow up the treasure, but I think we have better things to do with our mana. When in doubt, ramp. We have an interesting decision here now with the card that we drew. I think our play is still this to this. And we want probably one of these to get our colors. All right, 3/4 is not badly sized. Alas, goodbye, sweet green blade. I think with that in mind, we're going to play these 2 cards next turn instead of this card.
Why is it telling me that I... 1, 2. I think it's lying to me.
No, you don't have enough for snake.
It's telling me I do, which is confusing. Not that I have one, obviously.
It's probably double counting treasure, thinking you can tap for mana and sacrifice the cost, but you can't.
That's exactly what it's doing. All right, let's do this instead. Well, behold the chonky squirrel.
Knowing you have a snake in hand is concerning. What do we do against that? Stick to the plan, I think. Ooh, that's a good pull. That actually lets us get a mana ahead of where I thought we'd be, and... oh no, it doesn't. Never mind. We're good. Fungus. That looks like snake food to me. Never mind.
I made a mistake and realized that playing that out would use my only black mana. Because the snake is 5 and 1 black.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You'd think someone who's an expert in snake wouldn't make a mistake like that, but I did.
Snake mistakes happen. Mistakes. All right, we'll try this. Would have liked something cheaper there.
Okay.
Goodbye, Forest. You've served us well. All right. Viper wants us to sacrifice permanents. Let's get some permanents. Wave hello. That's better.
Oh, here they come. Oh, man. Oh, my. That is a lot of permanents.
We'll tap the snake. Get another land. Ooh, landfall.
Oh, you're doing the thing.
Landfall again. Let's see what we draw. It's an elf. Elves are good. Let's throw out a green blade. Ooh, trigger.
Aw. Legitimate snake food.
Let's get ourselves... Archway seems fine. We have no more land drops left, but we can still play out one more elf. And get a landfall. Get a mana. Play out another elf. Get another landfall. This one does damage. Oh, that's defense land also.
If I don't say. Oh, look at those butts.
We can keep playing. Spelunking. Putting in that arid archway we conveniently fetched. That's a landfall. Generates mana once we bounce something to hand. Let's bounce back just a humble forest. We could scry there, but I don't think we need to. We want all our deserts in play. Time for another spelunking. Pop that down. Get another mana. And alas, that is the end of things we can play. Time to bang in with the turtle.
Shoop.
The mentor reaps what he sows.
Food. All right.
think we comboed hard enough, folks.
It's not going to save me, but...
Do you have Season of Loss in hand?
No, I wish. I'm
Another
just...
snake.
Because it's funny, I'm just gonna... You're going to have the snake eat the other snake.
Snakes are snake food. Alright, goodbye, elf friend.
You have...
Should I go off on try to go off another combo turn, or just swing and kill?
You don't have lethal, I don't think.
Let's
you have
see.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I see.
Oh, you do have lethal. You do have
plenty
lethal.
Unblocked.
I think the people want to see what the butts can do.
Okay, we'll try to get more butts.
We got to get butts in those seats.
That's
to
damage. And a mana. And a trigger. That's another land. Which is another mana. And an elf or elemental. It is the elemental we hoped for. Alright, now we can get some real buffs going.
This is all coming off of Nisa, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really need Nisa here to win, but she's pretty handy.
So Nisa is causing the search. What is causing the playing extra lands?
Green shell.
Oh, nice.
I think Genesis Wave would... Let's see here. How many cards do we have in deck? 21. That would put us at risk of decking, so we won't do that.
No, keep going.
Alternate win con achieved.
I feel like that happened in the... was it episode 2?
It must have been. That's when I was playing my mono-green creature-based combo deck. Oh, what's better than 3 monkeys? You guessed it. 4 monkeys. I'm just trying to dig to the last green shell. Or one of my other green shells. That would be nice.
2. You have 4, I'm assuming. You did show us.
It's a 4 of.
You're telling me you're on 4 of your win? That's crazy.
It's a good turtle.
Those are some impressive monkeys.
Thank you. I love the monkeys. I shouldn't go off too more. I could just keep going through the rest of my deck. Let's.
Yeah, no, you should do it. Go through the whole thing. I want to see all your. Let me see your whole deck.
There's a problem with that. It's I mean, you still die.
Oh, but, that's fair. Okay, just kill me.
Okay.
I won't block the monkeys. Out of respect.
That's okay. The monkeys aren't doing the most damage. Frog, and then the green blades over there are doing 15 in one swing.
All right, well done. Well done.
All right, we got 1 on the board for the greenest of elementals. And I think our sideboard plan, we want no changes. This is good in case we bring in that one sideboard card that we saw him use, but I don't think he's going to do that.
Gonna make another change. I just have to decide what goes out.
I think our build for this one, folks, is just do the combo. We don't need to worry too much about interaction, aside from for the snake itself. Otherwise, we just want to combo as hard as we can, and we get victories like that. All right. 1 and 1.
All right.
This is a good start. We have our desired curve.
This is decent. We have our desired curve.
Fortunately, we have to do this on the plane, having on the draw now.
Sideboard time.
That's the card that I was like, oh, maybe we should bring in this other cool sideboard card.
Oh, is it happen to be Rampaging Baloths?
No, it's the more relevant Baloths to Standard. The obstinate ones.
Oh, which is the one that comes in?
Obstinate is the one that can come in for free when you discard it.
Okay, yeah.
Rampaging is...
Funny enough, the first card I ever saw with that effect was the Rhino from Pioneer Masters. For 3 mana, 4/4 Selesnya. So we hit our curve perfectly, which makes me happy.
I just need a snake.
I think you should block that. Oh. What a cowardly elf. Can't even stand up in the face of a squirrel. Or maybe he just respects druids too much.
No attacks.
Oh, Ben, you're gonna get to see it.
All right, redeem this card. I don't have destruction for it in hand. I don't think we trade here. Sometimes we just have to take hits early with this. Oh, this is a good card. It's not going to let us do anything this round, but things will be done. Pass.
All right, you ready? This is going to be great. I'm going to take out the Mentor.
That gives you permanent.
Put one of these in my hand. It also triggers the spider.
Oh, Spinner of Souls synergy.
To get another thing in my hand.
All right, folks.
Then
we might be up against it.
1, 2, 3. The question then becomes, do I care about getting two targets getting +2/+2 and trample next turn?
Oh, it's 2 creatures? Not just one?
Yeah, yeah, that might be nice actually. So let's not sacrifice the Hunter's Redemption. Unfortunately, the spider doesn't work with token creatures, or else I would
sacrifice your funky beast.
Yeah.
Look at that funky beast. You can
and now
have
you
these forests.
Why that card is so cool in this deck.
All right. Well, our cheese monkey snake lizard friend is having their pop-off turn.
It's going to be an 8/8 trampler with 2 blight counters at the beginning of my next upkeep.
We need a good one. We hit one Genesis Wave, but and otherwise lands. But we did hit a card we really needed.
Ooh,
Entrancers.
You're popping.
I'm going to hypnotize that snake.
Oh, now we can't attack.
Nissa just finds a crappy elf, unfortunately.
I am kind of wishing that I had sacrificed the huntsman now. But how was I supposed to know you were going to stun my snake?
I think we play this down and come in with our green blade. We need to end the game at some point.
Also, unfortunately, the Spinner of Souls can't
trigger off itself.
Trigger itself. No, I'm going to have to take that.
Right, keep spinning your souls.
So I can at least get that going.
It's possible we shouldn't have tapped, but... He can't attack with both, or else he's dead on board.
Let me think.
He has other cards to play in hand, though. Alright, that's 11, and we're at 12.
They do have trample from the Huntsman's Redemption. This is the redemption, in case you were wondering.
And
unfortunately, the Spinner doesn't trigger on itself.
Do you have nowhere to run? I mean, we need to block, and if we try to block and kill something, it's not gonna work. Even if you have nowhere to run, so we'll just try this and hope you don't have your one of. It's possible you brought in more. I don't know what was in your sideboard in detail, but I think we want the souls to stop spinning. Okay.
Now,
This 5-mana card doesn't kill us here. I think it has to be Nissa that we keep.
So I let you keep one creature so that I can draw 4, and we'll see if I regret that later.
You might. We have a good draw. Because this is a landfall creature. That will guarantee us a second land. Which means we get a random elf or elemental. Really hoping for elemental. We did it. Okay, now we need a good hit for elemental.
I should have made you kill everything.
Okay, we didn't hit what we wanted, but it's a good card.
At least if I die, I'll know why. However, I'm not done yet.
No.
Because I sideboarded in another card.
What could it be? What could it be? A True Sweeper?
Well, I have a True Sweeper in my sideboard, but it's not big enough for what you've got going on. So it's not a True Sweeper.
Still doesn't kill us.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to kill you, but I'm going to stay alive.
Clench. Okay. Frog goes bye-bye. Nissa's gone. Okay.
I'm not dead yet.
You might be.
Oh, I might be dead now.
Let's tap carefully.
Cards? You are a bad mentor. You told me that I needed cards to win this game. This game of Magic the Gathering. I should have had no cards and just made you kill everything. I'll learn better next time.
Green shirt!
Oh, you got him.
That was a close one, man.
If I had stayed down at 2, I had a Vine Root Mentor, and that was about it. And a land, I think.
Oh.
So I was like, I could make him kill everything, but then he's just going to rebuild his board. What am I going to do about it? So I chose to let you keep one thing, and so that I could draw 4.
My hand was all lands.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that was fun. I'm going to go ahead and restart my client.
I'll do the same. We'll do another best of 3. Seems like these decks still have gas in them.
Yeah. They definitely do. We've got time. I might also pull out the first deck I ever built, which was my first ever attempt at a snake deck, just so people can see how far I've come.
Oh, was it a bonus round?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's do another best of 3. That was fun. These are
sure.
This is a good matchup. I like this one.
It's tight. Swingy but tight. I contemplated during testing. I actually ran into another green shell deck that was running Golgari. And I was like, oh man, you do get some good options there. You get Insidious Vine Lasher, goes really well with all the landfall you're doing. Send me the challenge when you're ready. You get Preacher of the Schism as a solid mid-range card. Same for Shieldred. Those are all creatures with toughness higher than their power in black. And then there's Unstoppable Slasher, which is a powerful card. I don't know if it's the right deck for it, but again, toughness greater than power. I almost wonder if I should try a Golgari version of this sometime. It might even be better. We left in the blue because that's what the Pioneer deck I was inspired by had, and Dream Doom Transfer is pretty good. But we're flexible enough that we might be able to bring it into black. That gives us a lot of good sideboard options too.
Challenge
accepted.
play button pressed.
Alright, let's see who wins. Snakes or butts? I think we have to keep. It's stanky, but I think we have to keep.
I almost made a huge mistake keeping this one. Yeah, okay. There's no green in this hand. That would have been a problem. That's better.
I don't love this hand. We have to start with a tap land. Booty, free booty. But we get our elf start.
Ooh.
Turn late. And we surveil into a pretty good card with our hand. We can't play it immediately, but that'll be okay. Oh no, we can with this if it survives.
If it survives.
Okay, yeah. That's the Llanowar Elf experience. You play it, it dies.
I would say probably not the Tithing Blade a whole lot.
No, not the Tithing Blade a whole lot. Too many of a good thing.
I have won by converting Tithing Blade to its other form, but that's extremely rare. Yeah, I was desperate. We were both down to like 2 health, and I was like, I don't know what to do, but otherwise I converted it end of turn and said, please don't kill me.
I love the idea of cards like Consuming Sepulchre. Do they ever work out?
It's not the game plan. It's a oh crap button.
Right,
a very weak oh crap button. For those who are wondering, you can spend 5 mana and exile a creature from your discard or the board to turn this into a burn permanent.
Right, we ramping.
Do you like snakes?
Not as much as you. I think we're a mana off from doing this next turn, chat.
And the spider works really well with the snake. I guess no, I don't want to attack with the spider.
Okay, this is a good draw. So how do we play this? I'm not miscounting, right?
If I ever built like a Golgari Insects deck, would you yell at me for putting spiders in it?
No. A lot of magic types are pretty loose anyway.
That's true. Yeah, we do call the big gorilla a monkey. But that's us.
That's us, yeah. Okay, let's see what we find. This rail doesn't matter because we're about to fetch. Okay. Still a little bit off from doing the thing we really want to do. I think we just play elves and be happy.
Don't worry. Elves happy. Is your man a little broke? I've got a dork for you. I want a card more than I want that mana.
This is a good sign. We're still facing down an angry snake, but... Okay, I think we just... Oh, 8 life. Let's take 4 and ditch a card. Jump
You don't
block.
have any blue yet.
I actually know what I'm doing.
That's not really a problem, I guess.
You see I have blue in my hand.
Yeah. You've drawn your Nisa every single time.
Somehow. It's possible I should be running 2 of her. I'm not really sure what the
do you own
ideal
two?
for her is. Huh?
Do you own two?
I own all four. I had her in a really... I got a lot from draft, and I had her in a really fun deck from last standard, which I might try to convert into current standard at some point. Okay, so this is how we have to play if we're going to win the matchup. Go over the top. Snake wants to sacrifice permanents? Okay, we'll get some permanents. Trigger time. What order do we want these to resolve in? I think Nissa first. Yes. And maybe splunking up. Okay. Sorry, ordering triggers. Definitely tapping you. And potentially tapping you. Ooh, that's a good card. Okay, I'm glad I didn't draw cards with my Entrancer. Oh, I'm getting some pretty serious noise through your mic.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's my furnace.
I think the next thing to do is just to try to get to 10 lands for green shell. Because that'll let us get a big chunky attack in. There we go. Doesn't matter, we're about to search our deck. We'll pull out a Lush Oasis. Actually, no, we just want to pull a forest at this point. Sure. That's my turn. Green, 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 green. And a little bit of blue. Green, green. Favorite color in Magic. All right.
Yeah, it looks like it was my furnace.
Makes sense. It's cold out there.
I don't think there's anything I can do here. Especially since... Well, let's see what this gets me. Haha!
I mean, Hydra plus a billion mana. We'll do it.
Now I have you.
How much mana would you need for your Hydra? To win? Just in one shot.
15 plus...
The toughness on my board, which is a lot because I got butts.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have this much. Take that.
All right, Green Shell, time to do your job. I mean, he already did his job, but we'll let him do his thing.
Look at all this treasure that I
You get a lot of treasures and additional cards. Oh, they're tapped treasures?
Oh, they're tapped treasures, though.
Lame. All right.
Do you want to hit me, or...
I'll just swing in.
Okay.
I'll just swing in. We don't need to go through the whole combo sequence again. We did that last game.
Boom, boom, boom. I feel like getting hit by a bunch of really big green things is a common theme when I play with you, even off Jank-Off. It's just... When I think Ben, I think getting smashed in the face by a big board of green.
Is this week going to be a big green creatures deck or a sweeper week?
I don't even know what I have that would even help.
You just win first, and you can do that. You've demonstrated it.
Yeah. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something. And... I don't know it'll help, but it's a card that... It's a card that people haven't seen yet. It's not going to be a game winner, but I want to pull it in because it's a neat card.
I've definitely gotten lucky with some of my Hypnofrog, whatever his name is, pulls.
Can you remind me what my philosophy is on 1 mana hands?
You mean 1 land hands?
Those, right? 1 land hands, yeah.
Yes. You specifically should keep 1 landers when you're playing me specifically.
Okay.
That's no, you're not supposed to do that. Okay. You mulliganed? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
All right, we have a similar start to last time. Oh, no. Cancel that. We drew untapped land. Untapped green mana, rather.
Surprise, surprise, I have a snake in my deck.
Cavern of Snakes. That would be scary. Walk into a cave, it's full of snakes.
Be scary. Yeah.
All right, we don't want you.
I don't like that I had to put the talent down first, but... So another card that I kind of thought might work in this deck, but it didn't, was Hunter's Talent.
Oh, I did not play the creature I meant to. I meant to play this one, folks.
Definitely a card that I hope to someday get to work, because that is a fun card.
Of the talents, I think you definitely have picked the best one.
Yeah.
Let our blades be green. Best color in Magic. We'll pop this on down, and we won't pick up our desert because we want them on the board for the green blade.
So I have a question for you.
I might have an answer.
So Thunder Junction was an uninhabited wasteland before the Omen Paths opened to it. So if you are going green and spending your time making the desert bloom, are you actually destroying the plane?
It depends on your definition of destroying.
I suppose it does.
Doesn't it?
I heard you like snakes, so I'm going to drop one.
No, not as much as you.
Oh, sorry.
It is nice that you get to snakes so consistently every game.
That's what this deck is for.
All right, let's see here. How do we beat the big snake?
That wasn't a particularly good feeling snake because I didn't get a whole lot out of it. But I thought when turn 3 snake, people generally, if they're not playing black, don't have a lot of solutions to that immediately.
Yeah, we play this.
That's just the problem with snake is you're blowing up a lot of your own stuff, right? So.
And we pass. We cannot attack into the snake, but the snake might have stuff trouble attacking into us. All right.
Snake don't care. Spinner of Souls will go get us another snake.
One of these.
Or you could just take it, I guess. Which green blade do I kill, though? That is the question.
Doesn't really matter the timing of when I did that. I was hoping to get better ambush value out of it, but I still wanted to ramp.
I think this Outcaster green blade will die.
The summoning sick one? Stop picking on the sick guy.
Alright, what do you got for me?
I drew one of my best cards.
Oh no. Does it pop off immediately as soon as it hits the board?
It's a little bit luck based, so we will see. Okay, we're getting our desert value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total mana, which means we can Genesis Wave. 6. Oh yeah, those are all hits.
All 6? Oh my.
That's what the deck's designed to do. I guess we have to target now. We'll just do that. I don't think we need to draw cards after all these green shell triggers.
What did I just witness?
Good hits. No Nissa. No Nissa.
Oh man.
Sure.
I really did think I had a Jank-Off. I mean, this has been the most competitive I've been in a Jank-Off so far, but.
Now what?
But what do you expect from a jank that's been cooking for as long as this one has?
I don't think I can kill you. But I'm going to try.
I mean, because of all the sickness.
Yeah. We don't have any haste enablers, pardon. We can do this. Actually, I don't want to speak too soon. I think we got you.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that should seal the deal. Okay, now my goal has shifted to, can I kill you with just one green blade?
Specifically one of the ones I didn't kill. For vengeance.
I don't think we're quite going to get there. It'll be close, though. Yep. They're each only hitting for 16. GG.
I don't know. That's not a lot. I've seen lands that do more damage than that.
No, you haven't. Those lands did 16. Green blades did 16. For those wondering, what are they referencing? Check last week's episode.
Listen, turn 3 snake isn't always the best idea, but when you're playing a jank deck and you get turn 3 snake, you drop the turn 3 snake. Like, it's just the way it is.
It got some value.
All right. Let's show the folks. Unless you want to do a sideboard tech real quick.
Mine will be really quick, so I can do it.
Okay.
All right, folks. For sideboarding, here's our plan. Let me expand this view. We've got Kitesail Larcenist. I should probably be running more than one in the sideboard, but I only have one, and it's just a sideboard card, so you could craft more. This is another little bit of pseudo removal to go alongside our Dream Dew Entrancer. It's still at 3 mana, usually too late to matter too much, and it's not hard removal, so no biggie. We're in Simic. Our removal choices are pretty limited. We've got Sentinel of Lost Lore for Graveyard Hate. Notice the booty on that. 3/4 is the stat line we want for Fecund Green Shell. Same thing with Armored Scrap Gorger and 03 that also ramps us and is also Graveyard Hate. Good stuff. Case of the Locked Hothouse is good versus controlling matchups with board wipes. This is value that can stick on the board and also cares about lots of lands like Green Shell and let us have some pop-off turns even if we keep getting board wiped and our green shells won't stick. Locked Hothouse can do a lot. Fade from History is our sideboard card against enchantment-heavy decks like Overlords. Sometimes Rakdos Sacrifice can have a lot of artifacts and enchantments. Mono White. This is a good versus all of those. Kellen, I was kind of testing. If I'm going against a really artifact-heavy matchup, I guess he comes in. He ramps on 2. That's kind of nice. But kind of nice is about it. 4th Silverback Elder. It's possible we should have all 4 main board, but 5 mana is still a lot, even when you're ramping hard. So we bring this in for slower matchups to just shore up that Silverback monkey power. Coma World Eater. Notably, a big Simic card with a big old butt. This is for control. Can't be countered. Trample board 4, and makes a board all on his or her own just from hitting the opponent. So we still have to worry about board wipes if we're playing Coma, but usually we can build a bit of board, force the control player to use their board wipe, and then with all the lands that we got off our ETBs, play a Coma. We did this more than once in testing. It's good stuff.
Notably, Coma was one of the very, very early potential endgame goals for the mono blue aggro deck that I was building when it was started life as a Simic deck from episode 1. Because if you don't block this, I get a lot.
This is not under the radar anymore. This is very much over the radar. Yeah. Finally, 4 of Obstinate Baloth because there's so much Hopeless Nightmare action in the queue. Sometimes also Liliana if you're playing best of 1. But Baloth, great value in those matchups. Putting it into play from someone trying to discard cards from your hand, good stuff. All right, that's my sideboard.
Cool. Let's go to mine real quick. Hopeless Nightmare. I conceded and played some discard. I mean, it just works so well. It comes in, does stuff, it sits there, the snake eats it, you scry 2, it should probably be main board, but I wanted to shove more greedy freebooters in because I wanted things to stick the spiteful heck mages curse onto and all that. So
yeah, I think your freebooter is better if you're looking just between those two because of the Hex Mage synergy and also Spinner of Souls synergy.
Yeah. So, but it is in here because it is a really nice 1-mana permanent that you can sideboard in. Notably, it reduces the amount of choices that the other player has because if they don't have cards to discard, they have to take the life hit or sacrifice.
Also good against ramp decks who actually need all the lands that they have in hand. They can't just pitch extra lands. Slowing them down from their big haymakers could be good in your deck.
Paul Patch, my enchantment removal of choice. This one jumps in and out of the main board and sideboard, I'll be honest with you. Just because of that, if it's in the main board, it doesn't hurt me all that much because, you don't have an enchantment or creature with flying. Fine, I'll draw a card and make some snake food. So it's actually a pretty good card, isn't it?
Literal snake food.
Yeah. This is a recent inclusion. It does more of what Hopeless Nightmare is in here to do. It removes more options for them from the snake. So the less options they have, the more they have to start taking away from their health instead of cards or other resources. This is the board wipe that I am currently running in the sideboard. I don't think it was good against people with big butts. In fact, it's terrible against people with big butts. But there are times when I actually am testing this one against Season. And in fact, I think I might end up just taking this one out and putting in another copy of Season in my sideboard because I haven't really gotten this one to fire too consistently. By the time I'm at 4 mana, I usually have maybe 4 at most in my graveyard.
That's exactly the pinch, isn't it? It comes down sooner theoretically, but you have to fill your graveyard first.
Yeah, and I think what I neglected to realize when I sideboarded this was that the snake is more times than not I'm choosing to have the snake eat tokens because then I get to keep my creatures.
Right.
Because as much as I love killing and eating my own creatures, they are useful. So this is a really cool removal card that I keep in the sideboard against aggro decks because when people are dropping those 1-mana mice,
lousy mice,
I'm gonna put these in my deck and I'm gonna kill those mice of mana value 2 or less, and then it's gonna stick around as a permanent itself, and then it's gonna make another permanent, and it's gonna make another permanent. Sometimes I get the Wicked token on the snake. I don't know. It's just great removal, and I would mainboard it, except for the fact that I don't run into as many mana value 2 or less creatures in the first few turns as you would have expected. So, but I love the card, and I love how it synergizes with this deck. I don't see anyone else running it as removal, and I love Jank, so it stays in the sideboard.
It's 3 different permanents plus a removal.
Yeah,
excellent value when it's in a good matchup. But then, you run into Azure Overlords, and there's literally no targets except the occasional.
And you would have had elves, I guess.
Yeah, I have targets, but no good
once
targets.
Once you get past the elves, it's like that's it. It's the elves and the fungus.
The fungus, that's it. That's all in my deck.
And this is my artifact or enchantment removal on a body that I want to try out. I haven't gotten into a game yet, but I theoretically like it because there is plenty to bargain in my deck. I know that I'm stealing food from the snake, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to exile an artifact or enchantment and leave a body behind for the snake to eat as punishment for eating the snake's food.
The exile is relevant versus the enduring cycle from Duskmourn. You see enduring curiosity and enduring innocence a lot in the meta, especially.
So I keep it around. I haven't gotten it out of the sideboard, but I like the theoretical use of this card in my deck and how it can exile an enchantment.
I think it's a good sideboard card.
Bargain. So I also don't see anyone running it. It feels suitably janky.
All right, let the jank roll on. What are we doing next?
Let's pull out the first deck I ever worked on because it was my first shot at a snake deck. I think that might be interesting to see. We can just do it as a best of one because it doesn't really have a sideboard.
Sure. And which of the decks that we've played on the show so far would you like to play it against?
Let's see.
More butts. I've got mono green, or you could play one of the more controlling oriented matchups, mono red or dapple jank.
Well, if I remember correctly, mono red had trouble with large creatures.
Yes, mono red has trouble with large creatures.
Let's do that one then.
Okay.
All right, I'll send the challenge. We'll just do a best of one.
I'm already sending the challenge.
Oh, I'll accept the challenge. We'll do a best of one. This deck is lovingly called, "Oh no, it's a snake."
So how do I beat the snake in mono red? Wait, why am I playing mono red versus your snake? How do I beat it? I don't think I can beat it. I have to get, well, I can. I have to get very lucky.
Mind games. You ready for my first attempt at a snake deck?
I was just like, oh yeah, we'll do whatever. We'll do whatever AlbinoCheesemonkey wants.
Why is this in here? There's some questionable choices I made with this deck. Many questionable choices that this starting hand is really
I don't like
showing.
This hand, but we have to keep. We can't go to 5.
Oh, this is rough. 3 mana, huh?
I still don't know how I'm dealing with your snake.
Assuming I get one. All right. I gotta send 2 things back. Oh, this is rough. Aha! That's how you deal with 3 mana. 3 colors of mana.
Somehow I don't think it's worth it personally, but...
I mean, the snake can eat it later.
Yeah. Let's just get your food off the board.
Listen, I want everyone to see the terrible cards I was trying in this one, because then they can see how beautiful snake food is and how far I've come.
I found snake removal. It'll work in 6 turns.
You're going to notice some cards, obviously, that did make it into snake food. Like this one.
We drew a good book.
And thus is the problem with putting Leyline of the Guild pack, is you draw one, and now I have a useless card.
Good to hear. Because I need all the edges I can get in this game.
That's why I gave you a really bad match. I was like, no, play the worst matchup I could possibly think of.
I don't think we need this. It is a land. I guess we have to keep a land. Okay.
Just wait till the Jank-Off where I bring Esper Snake Redeemed.
Oh man. You're gonna be running all the pixie combos in it or something.
Something. What are these cards? I guess I'll just keep hitting you with my sus skeleton.
So sus. Alright, generally in this deck we want red mana. I don't think we're going to have a better target for demo field than Fountain Port, which is a Plains, Island, Swamp, Mountain, Forest that does like 4 different things.
I don't know, which basic land should I grab?
I mean, black's the color you don't have yet.
Technically, yeah. Sorry, I'm used. You could just blow up the Guild Pact, or I could eat it.
Okay, let's use our permanents. Okay.
How many oil counters does it need?
Equal to mana value. It destroys things equal to with mana value equal to the number of oil counters.
Or 10 for 10 damage.
I guess we just deploy this. Oh, or 10 for... I've never done that. I've never done that.
Do you remember the time that you toyed with the calendar?
Yeah. Maybe it'll come
back. There it
someday.
is. For turn 1 play. On turn whatever it is right now.
I mean, I see a sneaky number of permanents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we just need to get to our life and make sure we're hitting our land drops. That's fine. Nice thing with Maze Mind Tome plus Visions of Phyrexia is you can make sure you're hitting exactly the thing you want.
It's free scry.
Oh, I suppose I should have used my other tome first. This is fine. Okay. I don't like doing this. Do we do this? No, I don't think we do. If he had the snake, he would have played it. If he had the snake, he would have played it.
If I had the snake, would have played it.
If we just stack up enough damage effects in our hand, we can kill the snake when it comes down. Simple. We kill the viper.
Where's your forge?
I'm looking for it. I found another good book.
Get some good books. You didn't spelunk for those books, though.
Now what's our play? I don't want to do these things because of this. I think it's fine. I've changed my mind. Have I? Yes, I've changed my mind.
Mind has been changed.
I'm going to start with one of my Planewalkers.
Okay.
Just going to plus. All I'm doing is getting the mountain. Nothing to be worried about. And then I'm going to get rid of your sus skeletons because I don't want my Planeswalker pressured.
Sus. Sussy.
Oh, the case doesn't solve until your end step. This was the right play. This was the right play. I thought for whatever reason, I was thinking, oh, it'll solve immediately. No.
Who needs the case anyway?
Is that the case? Here, have this Power Stone.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna tick my Silex up to 6. See what comes off the top. Okay. Okay.
I would consider unjokingly adding Leyline Axe to this deck.
I think I did mention that when you originally played it with me. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Double Strike Snake?
That'd be a lot better than... Unfortunately, it doesn't make its Blight counter go off twice.
No, but
it is a
Double Strike
big
Trample
boy.
Snake. Double Strike Trample Igra?
Mm-hmm. We're thinking. I'm going to cook up an Igra deck all on her own. She deserves one.
But you don't have untapped black mana, so we don't have to fear the snake. Just gonna keep accumulating that card advantage. Okay. Let's start with an emblem. Mountain Time.
The earth is rejecting me. Oof. Is it to any target?
Any target. If Koth ultimates in a mono-red deck, it's usually a win con. Then we throw down Chandra because we can. Add mana. I love this Chandra.
I'm getting flashbacks to week 1.
Draw a card. All right, we're stocking up on things to do if we need to kill a snake. I think we have achieved control. This is the thing I like about control decks, is that moment when you're like, okay, breathe a sigh of relief. We have answers to our opponent's likely questions. And now we can play the game. Possible we should stop drawing cards. We have a lot of card advantage.
No, keep going.
How many cards do we have left?
No, you
30,
got 30
left. That's plenty. All right.
Yeah.
We plus for land.
Okay.
We plus for mana.
Okay.
We play down a land. No, actually, wait. We wait. We play down my other Chandra.
Ooh.
This is the first time I've achieved all 3 Planeswalkers in my deck on the field at the same time. We get more mana.
Did you not do it the first week?
Not all 3. I did 2. Mm-hmm. Chandra brings us a Forge, which we have.
Oh, that's right. You had 2 Chandras. That's right.
So double Forge is a good place to be. Let's play down this Iron Crag to get out of hand also.
So what do you play the Iron Crag for?
It's ramp in red.
Oh, okay. So you don't use the second ability all that much?
Oh, no, never. Our mountains are win cons. It's possible I had lethal this turn, but I didn't stop to count. We'll just do it next turn if so. All right. We are big and we are red.
Like the gum. Hashtag not sponsored.
Is there a big red gum?
Yeah.
I was thinking the big red dog, but...
Oh, that's Clifford. Easy to get confused.
That could have been useful earlier.
No comment. I'm bad at counter spells. I may have been holding it since like the first turn.
You didn't counter my Koth? Could you have countered my Koth that turn? Did you have 3 mana up or just 2?
No, I didn't have my mana up.
Oh, okay.
It was the problem. But I will destroy your target creature with mana value 2 or less. So
this deck doesn't run those.
This deck has no sideboard.
We don't need more of that. Okay, let's see what we get. Sure, we'll fire that off. Why not? And then we would also win with Forges, but winning with Chandra is satisfying.
Poof.
Bada boom!
There it
Big
is.
Red.
That is a
big red.
Much less impressive snake deck, as you can see,
Whew.
which was the point.
You had me sweating. I need a lot of damage in hand to take out a snake, but
it's not usually that slow.
No, it's usually a turbo snake.
In fact, it's usually faster than snake food. Let me see. I guess it's kind of got a sideboard. It's got Final Showdown, Cut Down. It's got the Foundations Liliana, which I don't think I owned the other one. And Whisper of the Dross. That was when I was experimenting with Proliferate. And Deduce for card draw.
Deduce, dropping a Deduce.
It's not bad. I mean, if you're in blue and you want to draw cards, you 2 mana, draw a card, leave a permanent behind.
Yeah, permanent's good for a snake. All right.
Well, now people can see how much better my jank has gotten.
It was a lot better. Man, your snake deck is getting better.
It does every time you see it. Yeah, the Huntsman was a really cool addition. I'm really happy about finding that one.
You kind of killed me with Huntsman that one game. You just destroyed me in the best one that we opened with. Good stuff. All right, but all good things come to an end. We have to evaluate our decks. So
now,
go ahead.
I think you won more games, so you got that one.
I won the best of threes.
I think the jank is going to be tough.
Snake is pretty janky. But Green Shell's kind of janky too. I mean, it has an effect that only turns on when you have 10 lands.
Yeah. We might have to just go with like sheer density of meta cards, which neither are running a whole bunch of.
What didn't even have meta cards?
We didn't even have Beanstalk.
No Beanstalk. Land War Elves is arguably a meta card.
Kinda, yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
None in the sideboard either, unless you count Baloth as another just sideboard card.
No, I don't see.
But I mean, your deck also. Let me switch to that view for our viewers. What meta cards are there? Freebooter, not even really Freebooter anymore. I don't see that in Rakdos Sacrifice anymore. Hexmage, I don't see in Pixie anymore. Tithing Blade, don't. I never see Eager in Ranked though. Tithing Blade is not in Pixie anymore. Case the Staff Skeleton. Okay, Nowhere to Run. You have Nowhere to Run and Innkeeper's Talent.
And Innkeeper's Talent, yeah, those are meta cards, yeah.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close. I say because I put Hopeless Nightmare in the sideboard, you're more techy.
But I put Obstinate Baloth in the sideboard against Hopeless Nightmare.
This is a hard one.
All right, chat. Any input? Who is the jankiest?
I'm going to propose something. I think my deck, because I played a color I haven't played yet on the Jank-Off, and it was doing something that I haven't done with a deck yet, might be more jank within the confines of the Jank-Off so far.
I think I'm comfortable giving you the Jank Award for this week.
Okay.
For that reason, and
people
also
let us
because
know if you disagree. But on the other hand, I've been working on this one a while.
Your win con is jankier. It's a specific card that needs specific setup.
That I've somehow been able to get extremely... I think I dropped it every single game.
My win cons, Fecund Green Shell and Genesis Wave. Green Shell, okay, yeah, it really likes its high toughness creatures, which is not really very meta. But it also just has the effect of when you're actually winning the game with it, you have 10 lands. Genesis Wave, also, you're casting it for 8 mana usually. When you're casting things for that much mana, there are a whole host of ways that you could win. Just because I picked 2 specific ways to win that kind of synergize doesn't make it particularly janky. If you get 8 mana, you're kind of winning anyway, no matter what you do. So I think yours is the jankier win con, and thus yours is the jankier deck.
I'll take it.
All right.
The reign of King of Jank is coming back to me. You held it briefly with Doppeljank.
Doppeljank, I mean, wasn't the name.
How can you get more janky than Doppeljank?
And I was really worried after that, our initial best one, that you would be taking home the... what's the award? the award of the victor, or the strongest
match
award.
Winner.
Yeah.
Strongest Jank. Strongest Jank versus Jank.
Jank.
Dankest Jank.
Dankest Jank. All right.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one. So the score stands here at episode 4. Ben, 4-0 on Strongest Jank. But 1-3 in Dankest Jank. And I am 3-1 in Dankest Jank. And 0-4 in Strongest Jank. So we definitely got our niches, but I'll take one from you on the other side. Here, come soon. Oh, you wait. Just you wait. I've got some really fun stuff coming.
All right. For next time, I don't know what I'm playing. It will either be my strongest and least jankiest deck, or my jankiest and least strong deck, I suspect, yet to appear on this show. So we'll see. We are not doing our usual Sunday time this weekend, and we may not be doing our usual Sunday time next weekend. Is that correct?
Yeah, because of the superb owl traveling for that.
Man, screw that owl.
But I wouldn't mind doing another Wednesday in the meantime if you want to keep it going as weekly.
Let's tentatively plan on the Wednesday. I think I can have another deck ready by then.
Okay.
So we'll be skipping next Sunday, skipping the Sunday after, but we'll be doing the Wednesday in between, and then hopefully back to Sundays after that.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, please do so again in a week from now on our Sunday, but Wednesday Jank-Off.
I'm interested to hear what everybody else thinks about which of these decks were the jankiest, because it was another fine quality Jank-Off, I think.
They keep getting better.
They do.
All right. Input in the comments, please. Like if you're on YouTube, subscribe. As always, helpful for getting more folks in to see the jank and join in the janking.
And if you're watching on Twitch, go ahead and follow us so that you can always be notified when the Jank-Off comes.
Especially when the times are not the usual expected time like they were this week. But we work in when we can, because the jank must continue. There's another set coming soon. We'll have so much more jank after that point.
The jank will continue until morale improves more. Morale improves every time is the problem.
Morale is good. All right, hope y'all's morale is likewise good. Have a great evening if it's evening where you are. I assume it is. And we will see you next Wednesday, I hope.
All right.